Ms. Patrick, you want to lead us in our pledge? Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. We're going to go ahead and get started. If you can rise, and Commissioner Patrick is going to lead us in our pledge. Hand over your heart, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, can we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Patrick,
Here.
Commissioner Rice,
Here.
Commissioner Shaw Williams,
Here.
Chairman Springs,
Here. Any communications from staff?
Materials for item 6A, those have been posted online and distributed to the commission.
Thank you. Public comments regarding agenda items. Persons wishing to address the Planning Commission on any items on the agenda other than the public hearing may do so at this time. Operator, can you open up the phone lines?
Absolutely. If you wish to make a public comment over the phone, please press #2 on your keypad and your line will be unmuted. We have one caller. Go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
We can hear you well.
Great. This is Darren Bovard. I represent Newmark Merrill Companies, who represents the landlord of Crenshaw Imperial Plaza. And I'd like to...
Excuse me, sir. This is,
yep.
You can do that at the end of our meeting. This has to do with the items on the agenda. Can you do that at the end?
I can't. We are on the agenda. But that's okay.
Okay, we'll announce you as soon as we get to your,
Great,
as soon as we get to you. We'll announce you.
There are no other callers.
Okay, thank you. We're going to close this segment. And I'd like to get an approval on the minutes for December 7th, 2022.
Motion to approve the minutes for December 7th, 2022.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second for the approval of the December 7th, 2022 minutes. Call for any questions. Hearing none, we'll call for our vote.
Commissioner Patrick,
Aye.
Commissioner Rice,
Aye.
Commissioner Trejo,
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw Williams,
Aye.
Chairman Springs.
Aye. Madam Secretary, the first item, please.
I apologize. I didn't bring my packet. I thought I grabbed it. Thank you. Item 6A. A public hearing to consider an application by Sandy Segal for special use permit number 2022-009, SP 2022-009, to allow a proposed beauty salon within 300 feet of a similar use on an approximately 0.69 acre lot in an existing shopping center on a C2 General Commercial MU-1A TOD Mixed Use 1A Overlay Zone Property at 2870 West Imperial Highway.
Chairman Springs and Commission, the file is present and notice has been given in the form and manner as required by law. Staff received no correspondence from the public on this item, and Assistant Planner Christine Rivera is present to do a short staff presentation.
Good evening, Chairman Springs and members of the Commission. The subject site for this special use permit is located within the Crenshaw Imperial Plaza Shopping Center and has a Crenshaw Imperial TOD General Plan designation with the TOD Mixed Use 1A overlay. The property is located on the southeast corner of Crenshaw Boulevard and Imperial Highway with commercial uses to the north, east, and west, and residential uses to the south. The applicant is proposing interior tenant improvement to an existing commercial structure with no changes to the building footprint. The yellow star indicates the proposed Phoenix Salon Suites, and the red star indicates the location of the existing Contempo Nails and Spa. The proposed beauty salon will be in an existing commercial building within the Crenshaw Imperial Plaza Shopping Center. The commercial building is approximately 14,000 square feet and will be improved to include individual suites for the salon stylists. Each suite will include glass windows and doors, as well as hair washing stations. Most Phoenix salon locations typically sees more hairstylists renting out suites, so they estimate that the proposed salon will be 90% hair services. Hours of operation are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. This video models the typical Phoenix salon suite and shows how each stylist custom designs their space. It looks like it's not working. I'll try it again later. Okay. As conditioned, the proposed project will serve as an enhancement to its neighborhood setting and will be compatible with the surrounding area. The proposed beauty salon is consistent with the general plan and compatible with the Crenshaw Imperial TOD mixed-use design guideline in that it addresses the goals of supporting a competitive retail use, and it caters to the individual customer, creating a unique feel to the existing shopping center. If the Planning Commission approves the request, the applicant will be required to complete the site plan review process. No comments were received for or against the request, and it is exempt from further environmental review. This concludes my presentation, and I am available to answer any questions the Commission might have. The applicant and their team are also on the phone tonight to answer any questions.
Okay,
And I will try and see if I can get that video to play for you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. We're going to open questions for you. We're going to start with Commissioner Patrick.
No questions at this time, thank you.
Commissioner Rice.
In the explanation for, in the very beginning, when it talks about, I think the only other salon there is the Contempo Nail. I know it was listed in my package as a nail salon, but I saw it said spa there.
Contempo Nails and Spa, that's the name of the tenant.
But the only services they have there are nail services.
I believe it's only nail services.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Trio.
Yes, that's, I'm going to ask or comment on, sort of along the same lines. How does this compare to the services being provided here compared to the existing salon that is there?
So the existing salon would be the Contempo Nails and Spa, which I believe just serves as a nail salon, which as Phoenix Salon Suites, they're proposing it to be 90% hair stylists, 5% nail, and then 5% esthetician. So it's more so stylists can come in, rent their booths, but they see it as being more hair salon.
Okay, so even though in the report, Contempo is described as hair and nail salon, it's more nail?
Their business license is under hair and nail salon, but it's just nails.
Okay,
So, yeah.
thank you.
Commissioner Shaw Williams.
I have no questions, thank you.
I have no questions. If the applicant is here, can you give us your name and tell us about your project? Operator, can you have the applicant come online?
Yes, applicant, if you're on the line, please press #2 on your keypad and your line will be unmuted. #2, please. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. This is John Brooks. Our Phoenix Salon Suites. First, I would like to say good evening to everyone. We are predominantly a hair salon. It's pretty much like she said, 90% hair, 5% estheticians, and 5% nails. But we have 100 locations. We have 75 that are open right now across the United States, and we have 13 that are under construction right now on the East Coast between New York to Connecticut, New Jersey, and Maryland. We cater to a variety of different age groups, because as you know, stylists come in all they do everything from nails, hair, elderly, young, youth. You have barbers, and it's the setting is one-on-one in the space. It's not like other salons where you have 5, 6 open booths. You have an individual space where you come in. They design it the way that they want to design it. We provide them with the shampoo station, styling chair, rolling cart, cabinet, and they just bring their licensing and their skill set. And they go to work. Pretty much all of their clientele is their clientele. It's very limited made walk-ins, if any, because people come out of other salons and bring their clientele with them to their space, because it's engaging. Like as with the times that we have now with the COVID and everything, it's ideal, and it's doing pretty well for us right now. This plan that we have, the setup, the way that it's set up, it's very, very, very beautiful space. It's very personable between you and your stylist, and you have it's an opportunity for people to come and be their own bosses, because their space is their space, and they get a chance to make their money, apply their trade without the headaches that they may have in other, when you have other stylists and everybody in the same space, it gets hectic at times. But the volume that comes in and out, it's people stay long. Like with all our other locations, there's no turnaround. People really is waiting lists. People really try to give them a good model, and it gives, the entrepreneurs a good, skill set and mindset of what it is to own their own business without all of the overhead that comes with owning their own business. And we're really looking forward to coming into Inglewood and, providing the service and giving people opportunities. And once again, when you look at the plans, you'll see it's a very beautiful space, and just hope to get in.
Okay, Mr. Brooks, is that correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
We have some questions for you, and we're going to open up our questions for you, sir, with Commissioner Patrick. You have questions for Mr. Brooks?
Just a comment on kind of a correction. At Contempo, they do nails, lashes, and eyebrows. So other than that, I haven't any other questions. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Rice?
Hey, Mr. Brooks,
Yes.
question. Will Phoenix be licensed with the State Board of Cosmetology as a hair salon itself?
If the requirement states that, then I know in New Jersey they just started that in New Jersey in the last month. They implied, they're implicating that now, that we have to. I don't know the name of it, but we have to be in compliance with the health board, because as it is on the East Coast, the health department comes out to each individual suite when the person goes for their license. When they come in, they sign up, they sign a contract, they have to go down there and apply for a license, and the health department comes out to their individual suite and make sure it's set up for what they're doing and is in compliance with what the laws are in whatever city that they're in. That's how that works.
Okay.
So if it's a requirement for us to do it, then we will do it.
Okay, so the laws in California would say someone would have to have an establishment license. And if you had an establishment license, would you be renting booth space, and the cosmetologist would not need to have a license? They would just need a business tax certificate? Let me try to make the question simpler for you. Are you with your business model, are you requiring your hairstylist to have a business license or establishment license?
Both. They have to have both. When they come and they bring their packet, they have to have both. If they're just braiding hair, they don't have to have a cosmetology license, but they have to have their business license, their own business license, and their certificate of completion of whatever it is what their trade is, whether it be nails, hair. That's how that operates with
So,
our business model.
so that technically makes Phoenix Suites a landlord, and everyone in your salon would be the business owners. So you would have 82 salons
Yes.
within your building with their independent business licenses.
Yes. They have to, whatever the laws are there in the city that we're operating in, that's what everything falls under.
Okay.
So I don't know
I'll-
what in Inglewood, excuse me?
Are you the person that came and did the discovery when you were setting up for this hearing to find out what the laws were in Inglewood?
No, I'm not the person. That would be my brother.
Is he available?
He's not available right now. He's on a flight to New York.
Okay, this is probably going to be a question for staff, but thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Trio.
Good evening, Mr. Brooks. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Do you have currently any salons operating in the state of California, in the South Bay area, which is where Inglewood is?
No, ma'am.
So this is the
I
first.
currently no. Yes.
Can you tell me why you selected Inglewood?
Well, Inglewood is, as we all know, a lot of money is being put into Inglewood. You have another stadium coming. It's Inglewood is growing. It's growing, and the services that we render will be needed in Inglewood. It's Inglewood is totally different than it was just 5 years ago, and it's going to keep growing. So we want to get in, while we can, plant our seeds and let it grow.
Okay. I guess I have some of the same comments that Commissioner Rice had, who is the most knowledgeable on hair salon, nail salons here on the commission. I'm, I guess, slightly concerned, unless you can clear up that concern, that you're not totally aware of what the requirements are in the state or in the city. Are you?
My brother is the one that he called me and said, listen, I need you to call. I'm going to be on the flight. So I'm taking the call to answer the questions that I can answer for you guys.
Well, I think we need to clear that up. I don't think you're prepared to clear that up. So at the moment, I don't have any additional questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Shaw Williams.
I haven't any questions. I am familiar with the Phoenix salons, but I have no questions. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Brooks, I have a couple of questions. One, you indicated that, is this establishment on appointments only, no walk-ins? Is that how it works?
Yes, that's pretty much how it works. It's pretty much everyone has their own clientele, and then if somebody brings somebody new when you come, they'll make their phone call and they'll know that they're coming. Now, if somebody comes and just inquires because they see the establishment, then, I'm quite sure they would just come in and look at the monitor and see, what it is, what the space is for people that are not familiar with Phoenix Salon Suites.
Okay, and on the rentals of the booth, is it a daily rental? Is it a monthly? How does that work?
It's weekly.
I'm sorry, say it again?
It's weekly.
So someone would come in and they would rent it for a week?
No, they pay their rent weekly, but they have to sign a 1-year lease.
Oh, so they sign a 1-year lease and then they pay their rent weekly?
Yes.
Okay. Now, who is Sandy Gall? Is that her name?
Sandy
Sandal?
Segal. Sandy Segal.
Sandy Segal. Who is that?
She's one of the applicants. I don't know if she's on the line, but Newmark Merrill is on the line. Oh, he.
She's on the line? He's on the line. Yes or no?
We have,
No,
I think there should
I can
be,
address
Hold
that.
on,
yes.
Mr. Brooks.
There should be two people from
Yeah.
Newark Merrill on the line. That might be one person.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm here. This is Darren. Can you hear me?
uh, is this Sandy Segal?
No, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Who are you?
Great. So here this is Darren Bovard. I'm Senior Vice President of Leasing for Newmark Merrill Companies. We represent the landlord. The CEO of our company is Sandy Siegel. So we are making this SUP application on behalf of the tenant so that we can get the use approved in the shopping center. And we're going to be assisting them throughout the process as it relates to making sure they have proper licensing and other things. There's things in our lease that require that as well. So we'll make sure your concerns are addressed as it relates to properly licensing the Phoenix Salon. Phoenix Salons is a chain of over 250 locations, a very reputable company. And Kevin Davis and his brother have all 75 open. They're the largest franchisee in the Phoenix Salons operation, and they have 100 coming. So I can assure you all of the requirements will be met. And we support them coming into the shopping center as it obviously it gives jobs to folks in the booths as well as helps our tenants in our shopping center as well. We think it's a good for the mix, especially being service retail, which is something that we feel is a little more internet proof than some of the other things. So we support it, and I work for Sandy Siegel to answer the question.
Okay, so the reason I'm asking you these questions, sir, is because we have an applicant of Sandy Segal. That's what I'm asking you. Who is that particular person? And then we get a person by the name of John Brooks who's speaking, and he's saying that his brother is the one who has all the information. So we're trying to get the person who knows this particular project so we can ask the questions so we can make a determination if we want to approve it or not. We don't want to go back to someone else who's not here to get some answers from. So you'll be able to answer the questions, because some of the questions that were presented that you had no answers for. So I'm gonna have to go back to some of our commissioners so they can re-answer these questions. Are you ready for that?
Sir, I believe I've explained
Okay,
myself.
if you're
The
ready for it,
resolution-
hold on, we're gonna come back again. We're gonna start with Commissioner Rice.
I'm gonna save my questions for staff. I don't think he knows.
Okay, Commissioner Trail?
Tell me, Mr. Is it Siegel we're talking to, Sandy? No?
No, we're talking to
So
someone else.
this is Darren Bovard on behalf of Newmark Merrill Companies, where Sandy Siegel is the CEO of the company. He doesn't. We don't operate from Phoenix Salon Suites. We're the landlord. We own Crenshaw Imperial Plaza.
Okay, sir. What is your name again, please?
Darren Bovard.
Spell his last name.
Boulevard, can you spell your last name, please?
Bovard.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Commissioner Trail.
Can you spell out the all of the licenses or permits that you need for the use of this site as a beauty salon that you're aware of?
As I explained, we're the landlord of the shopping center, so we own the shopping center. Phoenix Salons will be our tenant. So I don't do the business licensing for Phoenix Salons, but I can assure you our lease requires them to have all proper licensing, permits. They won't get a C of O without it. They won't get their business license without it. So we'll make sure that they go through the city. They've already put their plans into the city at risk, and we are moving forward with all the normal processes that we own 85 shopping centers and have 10 million square feet, and we have a dedicated team tasked to make sure this gets all done properly.
I'm going to interrupt you, Commissioner Trail, just for one moment. I understand that you're the landlord, but the questions that we're asking has something to do with the applicant being able to address the questions in regards to the salon, not as a landlord, but as the applicant being able to answer those questions. And that's why we ask these particular questions. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the process of a beauty salon and what it does in the community. So these are the questions that we're asking, sir, Mr. Boulevard. So I'm sorry, Commissioner Trail, can you go ahead with your questions, please?
Well, I don't have any additional questions, but I just want to say that if this is approved, then a condition definitely needs to be added that all required state and local permits and licenses be pulled before a special use permit can be issued. And it would be
Yeah, I
definitely.
believe it already
have to-
says that now.
Let me finish, Mr. Bohart. It would definitely have to be a condition on the commission's part if this is approved. Okay, I have nothing else for the moment.
Commissioner Shaw Williams, do you have any questions that you wanted to ask?
No, I do not. Thank you.
And Commissioner Patrick?
I may have missed it, but how many operators are you expecting to have at your location? How many hair operators?
About 71.
Total 82, 70.
Hello?
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Very good, Mr.
Can you hear me?
Boulevard. Thank you very much. We have no any other questions for you. Thank you. Commissioner Rice, you had a question that you wanted to ask staff.
Yes, I wanted clarification on the licensing process for potentially 82.
Put it in your mic, sir.
I wanted clarification on the licensing process for potentially 82 independent salons within one structure.
Yeah, so the overarching salon, Phoenix Salon, would have a salon business license, and then the individual stylists would have booth rental business tax registrations for city licensing purposes.
For city licensing purposes, but then they'll have a business license. They'll be an independent business as far as the State Board of Cosmetology is concerned. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions for the staff? Commissioner Patrick?
No further questions.
Commissioner Trio?
Well, I don't have any further questions, but just a general comment that,
Are you directing this to the staff?
yes,
Okay.
a general comment that I think that it's to the staff and to the applicant, I think, that I think that at times applicants come before the commission and they aren't fully prepared, which is I think what's taking place right now. And I think that applicants should be totally prepared to answer the questions that the commission has. And I think staff should direct the applicants that they need to be prepared for questions that come up, because I think it shows, in my personal opinion, a lack of respect for the commission. That I think it shows that they think, okay, well, we're going to just apply for this and we'll wing it. And at least that's a feeling I get. So that's sort of a general comment to this applicant particularly, and for staff to make sure that they let all applicants know that they should be prepared. And if somebody's going to be flying out of the country, then the alternate that's going to be before the commission be totally prepared to answer questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Shaw Williams?
No further questions.
Okay. At this time, is there a motion on the floor? I'm sorry, my bad. Anyone wishing to address this particular item for or against may do so at this time. Operator, can you open up the phone lines?
If you wish to make a comment, please press #2 on your keypad and your line will be unmuted. Once again, please press #2 if you wish to make a comment. There are no callers in the queue.
Okay, we're going to close this segment, and we're going to open it up for any further questions, any last questions. Commissioner Patrick?
I haven't any, thank you.
Commissioner Rice?
No questions.
Commissioner Trio?
No further questions or comments.
Commissioner Trey?
Chairman?
Commissioner Shaw Williams?
No questions, thank you.
Just wanted to make one possible suggestion based on the discussion that the condition in the resolution which requires the salon, the overarching salon, be licensed by the state, but also to add that the individual stylist be licensed appropriately by the state. Just a suggestion.
Can we make that a condition?
Whoever's going to make the motion, I
Whoever
guess.
make the motion? Okay.
Move that we affirm category exemption EACE 2022-138 and approve the attached resolution approving SP 2022-009, subject to 11 conditions plus 2 additionals that the establishment at all times has to be licensed with the State Board of Cosmetology, Phoenix Suites being the establishment, and all cosmetologists within the structure should be licensed by the State Board of Cosmetology or all regulating bodies for the businesses that are leasing those spaces.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved in second. We'll call for any questions. I have a question. My question is in regards to business licensing, and I want to see if we can add that in your condition as well. So I'd like to make a motion. It was properly moved in second. However, I want to amend that motion, see if we can amend that motion and to put in a business license as well.
I would agree.
Can I get the person who made the second?
Second.
Okay, so we have the conditions and it's been approved. We'll call for our vote now. Before we call for our vote, everybody understands our motion?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Call for the vote.
Commissioner Patrick,
Aye.
Commissioner Rice,
Aye.
Commissioner Trejo,
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw Williams,
Aye.
Chairman Springs.
Aye. Okay, Mr. Boulevard, you have you're the landlord, but your tenant has the salon. Congratulations. Is there any,
Yes, Chairman. According to the Inglewood Municipal Code, this decision can be appealed within 20 days from the notice of Planning Commission action by filing a written notification to the Planning Division and submitting an appeal fee of $942, at which time the file will be transmitted to the City Council for their consideration.
okay. Okay, this time I would like to open up public hearings to consider incorrect. Anyone wishing to address the Planning Commission on any items other than that's what was on the agenda may do so at this time. You have a total of 2 minutes. Operator, can you open up the phone lines?
If you wish to make a comment, please press #2 on your keypad and your line will be unmuted. Once again, please press #2 if you wish to make a comment. There are no callers in the queue.
Okay, we're going to close this segment and we're going to do our commissioner initiatives. We're going to start with Commissioner Patrick. I know you have a lot.
Most of them have been answered. Thank you very much, Chairman. I was over at SoFi Stadium not too long ago, and I don't know if this is the venue where we can talk about that, but there isn't a designated stop for Uber or Lyft drivers any place in SoFi. Not that we can do anything about it, but I thought I'd like to bring it to our attention. And when they call for Uber, they're everywhere, just every place. And I'm wondering why there isn't a designated spot for Uber and Lyft drivers.
Guess there it is. There is a designated spot for Uber and Lyft. It's on Kareem Court. The city entered into an agreement some time ago at the council level to designate that area specifically for Uber and Lyft. I'm not sure whether or not it's functioning that way. That's certainly something that we will transmit over to our traffic and traffic folks to make sure. And But that's where the designated drop-off pickoff is on Cream Court.
Are there designated signs
I
or arrows or?
I couldn't tell you that, but Uber, Lyft, and all of the rideshare programs know that. They know where the location is for the pickup and drop off. And as we've kind of moved along the process, we certainly will communicate with our traffic folks to let them know that they communicate to Uber and Lyft, the rideshare platforms, that they need to inform their individuals where those locations are, or reiterate that. Let me put it that way.
Thank you. I want our city to function properly. Not a lot of chicken places.
Not a lot of what?
Commissioner Rice?
I was looking forward to our Martin Luther King Festival this weekend, but it looks like more rain decided to join us instead. But I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware that it had been postponed, and I think it's going to be February. What was it? I think I said February 18th. February 18th to coincide with Black History Month. All right, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Trio?
Sort of piggybacking on Commissioner Patrick and what you said, Mr. Jackson, about informing the, maybe I'm on a roll at the beginning of the year, but Mr. Jackson, what you mentioned about the Uber and the rideshare being informed of where they should park. And as you say, they probably have been. But there are drivers that don't adhere to that because it's probably easier to go elsewhere. Are there any penalties or anything involved or reprimands? Because, I find that unless there is some sort of penalty or reprimand or pulling of their permit, that they're just going to keep doing what they want to do.
Yeah, there's a couple things that are going on, just so the commission is aware. As you know, we have the Intuit Dome under construction right now, and we're anticipating that will open next year. One of the things that is created as a part of the Intuit Dome is a rideshare area. It's a pretty large area that will accommodate, similar to what we're referring to with regard to SoFi. They anticipated that with Intuit, and certainly under the initiative that created SoFi, those particular areas weren't all worked out from a city perspective. That was an initiative process. But I believe you're gonna see is a lot of cooperation amongst the forum, Intuit, as well as activities going on in SoFi as they further develop. But we're gonna communicate that information that you've talked to our traffic. We'll also have that discussion with our Inglewood Police Department as well, because that's typically where those moving violations would occur. It would come from the police department. And but ultimately what we're trying to do is not ticket them. We're trying to get them to an area where they can discharge of their, rideshare folks so that they can safely get to the stadium and the various venues we have in the area. But we'll have that discussion, and what we'll commit to is we'll have somebody from traffic come out and talk in our February meeting. So that's a commitment we'll make. I'll work on that along with the planning manager, with Mindy, to have somebody here to really talk about these issues. And as these issues kind of arise, I think part of it is just, as you said, Commissioner Patrick, and I know everybody implies this, we just want the city to be well run. And we want to make sure that we're doing everything in our power to make sure there's not issues with regard to traffic circulation, given the volume that we see. So we'll have a discussion with that, and then we'll have something back. We'll have somebody from traffic here at the next meeting.
That's great, thank you. One other thing that I wanted to mention as a commission initiative, on Sunday, I was going west on Century to get onto the freeway. And I saw some fans that were walking over to SoFi, and I thought, wow, that's great. And then I see the underpass is thinking, oh my God, these fans, look at what is a even more disgusting looking area now. I know that's probably state property. What communications does the city have or whatever? Because it is absolutely disgusting, much more than it had been for a while. And I guess the rain added to it because, there was stuff all over the place. And Can you tell me what's, aside from winning, having, and wanting to have a well-run city, we need to have a city that looks like it's well-run and that we're on top of things.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that issue up because we actually have a special study underway where we'll be circulating back to the Plan Commission and the council regarding some improvements that can occur in and around the overpass area to facilitate a lot of the pedestrian movement that occurs. And it is a constant battle, by the way, you know, and I think everybody understands we have a statewide and maybe even nationwide, other states that I visit, I see the same thing. We have an increased homeless population. We have a lot of activity going on, and there's a real need to address those issues, and it's a global issue, as you know. It's one of the unfortunate byproducts of having venues, large venues. They come with this type of activity, but as far as it being clean, that's a specific issue that I'll raise with my code enforcement division to talk about that, work along with street sweeping and whatnot. There are some legal issues that come along with that, and we certainly work with the city attorney's office to try and resolve those and do it in a way where we're not violating any human rights or anything like that. But to be able to have areas that individuals can pass that is clean and well maintained is not a big ask. It's just we have to go through the process of doing that. So we'll add that to the discussion palette. And thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Okay, thank you. That's it for me.
Commissioner Shaw Williams.
I first want to wish everyone Happy New Year. I want to wish my colleague, Commissioner Rice, happy birthday. It's a little belated, but happy birthday. And Chair Springs, I'll wish you happy birthday at our next meeting because it's a little early, don't you think?
Never too early.
But happy birthday to you too. And I'm looking forward to 2023. I think it's going to be a fabulous year for all of us. And let's just keep going strong. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you. I have a few things. One is happy birthday to you, Commissioner Shaw Williams. Happy belated birthday to you, Commissioner Rice. My questions to staff, can you tell me the name of the building that's on Florence and La Brea on the east side of the street? When is the opening day that we can actually go inside? And what's the name of the building on the west side of the street?
On the east side, it's called the Astra.
The who?
Astra. A-S-T-R-A.
What is it?
A-S-T-R-A.
Astra.
And they are starting to stage the residential units. They're not completely done with construction. The commercial on the bottom floor is going to open the soonest. The Target that's under construction, I believe, is going to be open probably in about the next 3 months or so. And then the residential will follow, and then probably concurrent with the remaining commercial. And then on the west side of La Brea, I don't think the building has a name yet. We refer to it as 201 North La Brea in our office. And it has about, I want to say, 2 more years of construction to go.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that, I believe one of the additional tenants that's coming into the Astra, and the Astra is the residential component of it, and then there's the ground level retail. So we have Starbucks that's coming in that location inside of Target, I believe. Everybody, yeah, the planners are going yes. And I think Buffalo Wild Wings is also going to be coming into there as well. So we'll have Buffalo Wild Wings, we'll have the Target, which, by the way, this Target is kind of featured on because we were trying to get, obviously, a grocery component. We were trying to get Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, but we did work with them to make sure that they had a robust grocery component in their location. So you'll see kind of a beefed up, enlarged area for grocery related product. And we did go down to USC for their neighborhood target location to kind of look and see what it looked like, and it's that type of a quality to it. So this obviously is not the footprint of what we have on Century. This is not that type of target. This is a neighborhood-based target. So it's meant to really service the local area and not necessarily draw from the larger area like the larger target on Century. So there's additional tents that are going to be coming in online, and we're also looking at some local businesses that'll come in as well. So.
Okay, thank you. And a couple of more questions for staff as well. And one of them is the hotel in the Hollywood Park tomorrow. Is there going to be a hotel? Can you give us an approximate beginning date and or ending date, completion date?
Yes, they are just getting ready to start construction, and they are anticipating completing, in 2026.
2026.
Yeah.
When's our next big major event? The Olympics or soccer?
I haven't finished my questions there, Commissioner
Well,
Tria.
kind of, I'm sorry. Added.
I'll come back to you if you have a question. My next question would be if someone if we approve something, what is their time frame for starting and or completion? Is there a time frame on when someone can start and or complete, or is it indefinite?
Well, I think I'll take a stab at that, Minnie. I think the start date, you have a period of time within that's built into all your resolutions, I think of 1 year. So within that 1 year period, it's the requirement of the applicant to do their due diligence to get into the system. Now, we've been pretty generous with our time with everything that's going on from a society standpoint, COVID being the biggest example of that. So what we're looking for is progress. We're looking for either their in-plan check, they're nearing pulling building permits. Now, the construction, so that's important to know that there is a time frame by which these resolutions have to be acted upon. The secondary part of how long it takes to construct varies. It depends on the extent of the construction. So, for instance, the new Hollywood Hotel, which is, by the way, beautiful. I'm just saying, we need to share with them share with the commission some of the pictures. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful.
You see the Hollywood Park Hotel?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So Hollywood Park, the hotel, the 300-room hotel that Mindy was just referring to, is a 5-star hotel. So we're not. It's top notch, and so it's going to be good to have some Christmas events over there. I've already plugged that, by the way. That's one of the first things I did when I was we were talking to the owners. I said, and by the way, I'm tired of leaving the city to do Christmas events. We need to do them inside the city. So we're certainly 26 is when I think the plan, but they would love to be open before 26. So it really comes down to the construction activity, weather, and all the things that come along. But some projects take shorter period of time. Usually you're looking at an 18-month to 24-month build on most projects. In the case of the Salon, that's an interior TI. You may be looking at 12 months or so of interior work for the tenant improvements that go in. And then, of course, they really want to be able to have tenants come in as quickly as possible. But it varies. We'll try and give you, there is some information that we distribute to the council, and hopefully you have an opportunity to speak with your various council folks to get that information, and it is available to you. And if you want to get on the list, you can talk to the city manager. He'll make sure you get on the list. And it has things like estimated times. We're a little leery of that because it varies. So we'll put an estimated time of something opening up in a certain time period, and then the pressure comes on because they've had a delay or something, and it may be a few more months or maybe even several months before it opens. But it varies. We'll try and answer that on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, this is to my buddy Eddie, next year. Commissioner. He knows. Do you have a comment, Commissioner Trio.
No, I was just asking which kind of piggybacked on when the hotel was going to be completed. When is our next big event? Is it, I forget, is it the soccer, the World Cup, or the Olympics? Which one comes first? Because I know we just had the
Cup.
college stuff.
College stuff.
What was it?
College stuff.
The World Cup would be
Championship.
occurring first before Olympics.
WrestleMania is coming up.
WrestleMania, right?
Huh?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Rolling Loud.
What do we have coming? What's it called? And I'm sorry, obviously.
We'll talk offline.
And by the way, all of our events are big.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
We're
yes,
Inglewood.
true. I agree with that.
It seems like our little events are big,
Yes.
right? So.
Okay, I want to thank the staff. I want to say again, Happy New Year to each and every one of you. I want to thank you for the birthday card that you gave to me.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for that, signing it individually. I appreciate that. And if there's nothing else, Happy King Day on the 15th, and you guys have a great day. This meeting is adjourned.
And Chairman, before everyone leaves, we have a special surprise for you guys.
And then you guys, Marissa's birthday is January 2nd.
Oh,
Well, happy birthday, Marissa.
Happy belated birthday, Melissa.
And Christine's was in December.
That's right.
Whose was in December?
Christine.
Christine.
Happy
Oh,
birthday,
happy belated.
Christine.
You
And
guys
mine
want-
is coming up in September. So I just want to let you know.
I'm September also.
Yay!
When was yours? December what? 20?
Oh,
Oh,
just like
happy belated. We weren't here in December, right?
month apart.
Huh?
I say we
All right,
weren't
we're gonna do this on three. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everybody.
Everybody.
Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
All right.
Hey, it's your birthday. Get busy.
We have cake and we have containers in case you gotta go. Right? So it's just I'm telling you, the hotel is